And hello once again, this is Late Night Parents. This is Ted Hicks. Ways to follow the show is go to the website latenightparents.com. Don't worry about the Twitter or Facebook or anything else. But we have some folks in the studio tonight. The Holy Trinity is back.
And there she is.
She is finally returned after a whirlwind tour. Ladies and gentlemen, Dr. Michele C. Reed.
Thank you so much, Ted and Rich. I really missed you guys.
We missed you. Welcome back.
I know.
Yes, and I tried to get you to go with me, but you guys didn't want to hang out.
Well, it seemed like it was like Girls' Day week, month out. So
no.
But you were gone for like 2 months. What are you talking about? I would have come back to no job, no wife, no family,
Exactly.
no nothing.
No, they would have missed you more.
Oh.
They really would have.
Okay.
Time away, heart would have gone a lot fonder.
Okay.
And thank you very much
goodness.
for all the gifts today.
Oh.
I already got one as soon as I saw him.
A new latest gift. Because, we're in the gift-giving business,
That's right.
Rich.
That's right.
Disney Circle.
The Disney Circle.
Nice.
And
Disney's internet access.
yes. We can only say oh so much because ears are everywhere.
Oh, yes.
And ears are probably going to look it up and see what it's all about.
Disney Circle, what is this? Oh, my goodness. What is this, Mom?
Well,
They might not like you after this.
Richie V is in the building.
Teddy Ted! What's up? Sorry about that
Tell
there,
me.
Brian. You just pegged the needle. Sorry about that.
Hey. There's excitement in your voice.
Ah, yes. Well, I'm glad to be here. We weren't, here recording live last week.
I know. What was up with that?
We have the good doctor here.
Oh, I was ready last week to go
we
live.
thought the doctor wasn't ready.
No, I was ready.
She was ready?
I had a lot to talk about.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
But I think today we'll have a whole lot more to talk about.
Well, we have an abundance of discussions to be had here.
I don't know. It's like the last 48 hours, 72 hours have been like a total whirlwind. You know what? Let's run it back 96 hours because for the most part of last week, we were talking about, you saw two leaders, and I'll use those words very lightly, of Korea and of our beloved United States.
Yes.
Going back and forth. Tick for tack.
It was like a preschool, first grade yard, discussion, back and forth and back and forth. Two little kids, it seemed like. But no, these are the leaders of countries in, well, half of it's the free world, half of it's not really the free world.
Right.
I don't know what you say. How far does it go?
And you kind of wonder, how can that be upstaged?
Well, I guess we kind of found out.
Yes, I think we did.
Not talking about that very much right now, are we?
But, that's what I was saying earlier to Ted. I said, do you think all of this is just a diversion?
If it wasn't for the fact that it's really happening, we have people out here getting killed by, well, I'm going to say madmen driving cars, attacking, innocent people. Yeah, that goes beyond being a diversion. This is really happening.
And then I've been thinking about it, just to say her name, Helen Hayer.
Yep.
The person we lost.
Yep.
The anti-protester.
Yes.
Of all people, you say, right?
There's 5 people critically injured.
Mm-hmm.
You have 2 state troopers that were killed in a helicopter crash.
Yeah, and I was trying to find out more information about that, but they said that they're really not releasing much information regarding to how that actually happened.
Right. So.
And that sounds suspicious to me.
Totally.
Yeah.
Totally. And before we get started, our special guest this evening is slated to be Hezzie McCaleb, who's going to be in the queue shortly, because he gave me a text message saying, giving a thumbs up.
All right.
On a bunch of things. We've worked with Hezzie in the past. I've worked with him on external projects. And we had the, how do I put it? We both attended NABJ.
That's
National
last year, right?
Association of Black Journalists.
That was last year, the two of you attended.
No, it was a couple of years ago.
A couple of years ago.
And not a journalist, we're bloggers.
That's a journalist. Bloggers are journalists. That has been accepted now.
But the best thing about it is you could see the rift with the bloggers in the room, and it was like the bloggers versus the journalists.
Right. No, it's those who went to school and got a journalism degree,
right,
and those who didn't.
So, and as Hezzie, when he joins us, I mean, we were sitting there and we were watching all these journalism jobs just drying up,
right
before our very eyes.
Mm-hmm.
So you've attended school, you graduated, and now you're like, okay, where's the job?
Right. You thought you were going to come out and write for some magazine or all the publication, and it doesn't quite happen like that anymore.
Right. And to take it one step further, you have outlets now like Fox Sports, Vice Media,
right,
that are going all video.
Right.
That are going all video. They're like, you know what? We don't even need these writers anymore.
Well, I don't know. They still need writing. It's granted, it's not fully live, but there is a script. There's a topic. There's commentary. And I don't believe that they're all just everything is off the cuff. So something still has to be written. But you're completely right that the level of of writing that used to be is no longer not needed.
So they're looking for these personalities.
Right.
To provide their commentary. And that's that. We're going to, hey, here's the video, here's a brief blurb on it, and that's it.
Yeah.
So it's kind of mind-numbing to, when you attend those type of events.
Mm-hmm.
And like I said, we had a situation when we attended a few years ago. So I guess as we get started, want to welcome, I guess, I don't even know if I can call him CEO extraordinaire. I'll just say entrepreneur,
there you go.
Serial entrepreneur, Hezzie McCaleb, hailing, from New Orleans, but currently residing in O-Town, Orlando, Florida.
Yes, indeed.
Founder of, how many different podcasts and outlets can we name? I'll try. The Filthy Dish, Barbershop Sports, RYP podcast. You name it. Imagination, Unlimited. Has you been busy? What's going on, brother?
Man, I've been watching CNN nonstop, seems like, man, But other than that, I'm good.
That's good. That's good. In the room, we have Rich Valdez, who you know and love, and Dr. Michele Reed, who you will, after this conversation, definitely know and love.
Hi,
hey, everybody.
What's going on? How you doing?
Good, Richard, man. It's good to hear your voice.
Good. Same here.
So, you're closer to this event on many different levels. We have yet to really start to break down Charlottesville, because Charlottesville could be anywhere in America. It just happened to be in Virginia last week, where there's a Confederate monument that needs to come down. And hey, before we even get started, did you hear about either the mayor or the governor of Kentucky? They said, hey, we were planning to pull down our Confederate monument,
but now they're not.
They were planning to do it, I guess, in a month. They said, no, we're doing it effective immediately.
Oh, nice.
Oh, wow.
Nice.
I didn't hear that.
Yes.
What's your take on Charlottesville, brother?
Well, you mentioned earlier that I'm originally from New Orleans, and New Orleans recently took down its Confederate monuments, Robert E. Lee, among a few others, and it was so serious there that the men who were doing the removal of the statues had to dress in a full body armor.
Wow.
They had to conceal their appearances while they were taking down these statues for fear that they would have been, shot down while this was happening. So it's a very, very serious thing that's going on, and now that we're seeing it, happening in Charlottesville, it's just letting me know. I don't know about how you guys feel, but we're not as far ahead as we may think we are, as far as racial relations.
Yeah, it's it's funny, Ted, something you said just a few seconds ago that this could have been anywhere in America, and I don't think so.
No,
the Deep South has always been, that's the core of the South will rise again. The last ones to eliminate racism. I don't think this would have happened in, let's say, Michigan or New York or New Jersey.
Or California.
There are just certain areas which are just holding on to just last vestiges of what used to be. And, you hear many of the folks who claim to be representatives of those groups say things like, well, no, we're not trying to remember this for racism, but it's our culture and heritage and blah, blah, blah. Well, yeah, your culture and heritage is based on racism, and yeah, these things need to be forgotten. And no, we're not saying that the general didn't exist, didn't do the things he did. But what he stood for was wrong. What he fought for was wrong. And the rest of the country kind of proved that to you. Let's get over it now.
True.
But I was going to say, but at the same time, I could easily see it happening here in the North, but maybe not the same way, because it does happen. And I think I'm also coming from the perspective of, I remember traveling down south and being in the car and my dad saying, okay, we have to get there by a certain time. Right. And then driving past, guys who actually were dressed up as Ku Klux Klan men. And then being with my cousins, and because I'm fair-skinned, and we would be just walking into the store. I remember one time I was like 11 or 12 years old, and they were like, what you doing with those? And they said the N-word. So I could see it there. I could see it here, too. But maybe they might not be protesting with the torches. But, let's be real. Like, the school that we went to, the street was named after a famous Ku Klux Klan man on Long Island.
Right.
And growing up, we didn't really know that. But now we're learning more, of course, about our history. And we realize that was a major thing about how the street was named and who it was named after. And here you have all of these black kids that are attending this school.
And it does. Is that name still the name of that street? Or has it been renamed?
It is still the same.
Wow.
Sounds like something that needs to be addressed.
Wow. And I mean, when I think about New York, it really is kind of like a liberal jewel at the bottom of a very, very red state. I spent time in Rochester and Western New York, and, I was kind of shocked to see, just how racist some people were there. I mean, that was one of the first times in my lifetime. Now this is me growing up in Louisiana now. That was the first time in my lifetime where I heard white people openly use the N-word like it was nothing. So that kind of blew my mind, because I'm like, wait a minute, I'm above the Mason-Dixon line. I'm up north. I know I'm not in New York City.
Right.
But at the same time, man, it was almost like I was still down south.
I definitely don't doubt some of the things that you've run into, Hezzie, while you were, stationed in Rochester, because it's different. You had the 5 boroughs, and then Nassau County, Suffolk County.
Westchester County.
Then things start to change.
Dutchess. I mean, yeah, you get 50 miles north.
Right.
75 miles north.
I just want to drive the conversation to, we know what happened. We saw it on every outlet, with the death of the young lady, with, multiple injuries. But then it became time for our, leader of the free world to make a statement, to come out and make a statement. And the statement that was made, he was obliterated by the left and the right. Because the only thing that anyone that can remember is the sound bites. We're in that 140 character world we live in, and we hear on many sides. And we watched Republicans, Democrats, independent politicians blast the president for that weak response. Hezzie, what's your take on that?
I mean, it's hard to say that I have anything. There's no positive spin to it, really. I mean, even though this guy has been in office for 6-7 months, it feels like 4 years. And just specifically to answer your question, for him to come on there and not directly address the antagonist, I was just commenting before I called in. I was just commenting on someone's page who, said, "How could you blame Trump for these white nationalists?" He compared it to blaming President Obama for Black Lives Matter thugs or something like that. And so I just had to say something. I was looking at it and I was like, I just can't let this ride. So, the point that I made to him was that, first of all, Obama is not in office right now. So let's not live in the past. Let's focus on right now. And President Trump got into the political arena based off of the birther racist ideology. During his campaign, when David Duke, a well-known Ku Klux Klanman, affiliated himself and expressed, affection for what President Trump was doing, he had a chance during that period to disavow himself. He didn't. He looked very weak, just as weak as he did in his so-called denouncement of what was going on in Charlottesville. So yeah, man, it was very weak. He did not do anything to lead. As a matter of fact, the mayor of Charlottesville and the governor of Virginia did way more as far as addressing the direct issue than President Trump did.
But I was going to say, but it's nothing surprising to me. I mean, because if this is what he has always spewed, this is not anything different. And if anything, I mean, he really stuck to reading what was written for him. He did not go off and ad-lib at all. So I don't even know if, with how he showed his lack of emotion, if that's even the true reality of how he feels, and if he's scared and frightened because of what he's actually caused.
True. You never know. I mean, and going to somewhat to what you were saying, Hezzie, I think what has happened here is the president and his lack of definition of ideology here has enabled all these people to come out of the woodwork and more strongly voice what has always been their opinion, but now they feel justified or empowered, if you will, to get out there and say these things where they might not have before. And yeah, sure, it's because the president has not come out ever during his campaigning or now in office and stood against and said anything, of impact against these actions and these people's thoughts. And so this is just, where we are now. These people are coming out of the woodwork.
Yesterday,
I mean, they were literally. Oh, sorry, Ted. I just want to say they were literally marching in the street, yelling "Heil Trump."
Yes. Yesterday, also, David Duke, on video, made comments about Donald Trump. We're doing this in the name of Donald Trump, and also the fact that he needs to realize that it was the white Americans that put him in office. So in a way, that's he's checking him.
Right.
But I was going to say, did he respond to...
No.
Okay.
No.
And I know he heard it.
Of course.
And it was all over Twitterville.
Of course. I mean, this is a guy who loves cable news.
Right. And loves Twitter.
That's what I said. It was all over Twitterville.
Yes.
I mean, we're talking about the same guy who held a press conference in Long Island about MS-13.
Yes.
Yeah.
Telling police unions to be rough.
Yeah.
With these people, and he couldn't address this direct thing in Charlottesville.
So for someone who's been direct in regards to Mexicans, Muslims, you name the domestic terrorists, international terrorists, any situation, how do you come out this week, this time? Because it's calculated. It was planned that way.
Because it's your base.
Because it's your base.
And you can't, because if you start talking out about them, then you lose your base, and then they turn on you, and then you're out of office.
And currently his base is the only thing he has left.
That's about it, right.
It was good to see John McCain, Marco Rubio,
Ted Cruz made a statement. Great statement.
Ted Cruz, our former President Barack Obama, Bernie Sanders, Joe Biden, you name it.
Yep.
Everyone stepped up to say, no, this is white supremacy.
Right.
And we're denouncing this. So everyone else did it. His daughter even did it earlier today.
Oh, wow.
In a tweet.
Oh, his daughter did?
His daughter did.
Oh,
Yes, she did.
So, Dr. Michele and Rich and Hezzie, even if he had said, my son-in-law is Jewish, my daughter is Jewish, I don't stand for this. That would have been better than the weak display that he put on.
Yeah, it totally would have.
You know? So...
Oh, I see her quote.
Yeah.
I had a friend of mine say something I thought was kind of funny. He was like, you know, when the President of the United States addresses the American people, he expects to see the President behind a podium with the U.S. seal, the presidential seal on the podium, as he's addressing the people, not sitting in a chair with his arms folded up. Oh, man, this guy is a joke, man.
At his golf course.
At his golf course, yes, exactly.
Come on. Hey, I want to switch gears a little bit here. This is Late Night Parents with the incredible Dr. Michele. We are so honored to have her back in the building. Rich Valdez, special guest, Hezzie McCaleb, and I'm Ted. All right, so...
Wait a second. So now, have I seen you since my trip to Charleston?
No.
Okay. Well,
at all.
And this sort of ties in because having parents who were from the South, Mississippi and South Carolina, I had never been to a plantation. I mean, I visited relatives. I stayed in houses where we had to go outside and use the outhouse.
Okay.
Towns with just one stop sign or stop traffic light. I've been through all of that, but I'd never gone to a plantation. So I actually went to a plantation in Charleston.
Really?
And the tour guide said during the tour that the slaves were very fortunate on that farm because when they had downtime, they were able to go into town and make extra money. That's what the tour guide said.
Wow.
Okay.
But I'm thinking, I was like, well, whatever extra money they made, quote unquote extra, that didn't go into their hand. No. That went into their master's hand.
Yep. Correct.
So that sort of ties into where we are now. We're still enslaved.
Yes.
And some of us just are now realizing what's going on.
Correct.
It's just a different type of slavery.
Yes, indeed.
Agreed.
So I know you miss me.
Of course.
Yes, we do.
Of course.
But don't worry, we're going to take a road trip down to Orlando so we can see Hezzie.
That sounds good. That sounds good. Hezzie, a few years ago, you and I had the pleasure of meeting up to attend NABJ, and I was mentioning to the guys in pre-pro. You know, I
there he is.
Yes, we know pre-pro. Yes,
he got pre-pro.
Yes.
So it's kind of, I like to mention pre-pro, kind of like Dan Patrick used to mention Passion Bucket. Okay, so we attended NABJ. You and I, and we were amongst all the stars, the journalists, the ESPN folks, CBS, NBC, Sports Illustrated. NABJ is a great event. It's a great event for young journalists that are just getting into the game, that kind of need that guidance overall on what to do with their next steps and everything else like that. I was mentioning to Dr. Michele and Rich that we were there at the advent of the bloggers starting to invade NABJ. So the journalists are already dealing with the retired athletes. But then now you got the bloggers that are coming in and snatching up those jobs. But this past weekend, NABJ happened, and there was a panel with Omarosa, which was a barn burner.
Yeah.
They had Ed Gordon. He was chairing that panel. He said before it even started, this is going to be a hot mess. And we know... We all know Ed Gordon. He's a very classy gentleman.
Yes, he is.
Oh, yeah, definitely.
And he said, this is going to be a hot mess. And I could just think of, Hezzie, you and I attending that. Remember the conference we attended with Gary Sheffield, which wasn't a hot mess, but it was standing room only. And I think that's what was similar with Omarosa.
Mm-hmm.
And the panel immediately started to question her about, how are you, an African American, working in the Trump White House? I mean, it just totally went off the rails. So I'm guessing there's going to, there were a lot of journalists there. Just give me a brief overview of NABJ. Did it meet your expectations when you went there? Will you attend it again? What are your thoughts?
Well, the first time I attended NABJ was in Philadelphia, so that was a unique experience because that was my first time in Philadelphia and going to an event like that. And, I got a chance to meet, Stuart Scott before he passed away, and Stephen A. Smith, and a gang of other, journalists that I had looked up to. So it was very, very enlightening, and it was really organized. So it was a good event. And then you and I went to the one here in Orlando, and it was also a good event. There were some things they could have done to make it a little more organized, but like you said, for a young, black journalist, or just a young journalist in general, not just a black journalist, it's very cool to meet all of the trade, top-notch folks. For bloggers, though, I would say that's not necessarily a convention to go to. I mean, clearly it was, like you said, these journalists are fighting for their jobs. Newspapers are closing every day. ESPN is cutting its staff. All these sports channels are cutting their staff, so they're scrambling. But all in all, it's still a pretty decent event. It was funny that this NABJ session happened to be in my hometown.
Right.
So, as I'm looking at the video of the debacle between Ed Gordon and Omarosa and the rest of the panel, first of all, I'm like, who picked Omarosa to come to this
I don't
event?
know. I don't know.
I mean, they were asking for this, because she's going to defend her meal ticket.
Correct.
All the way down to the end, in spite of her dignity.
All $180,000 a year worth.
Exactly. So, I mean, this is somebody who I have zero respect for, because you know why she's there. I mean, she has this title as liaison for the benefits, something, I don't know the exact title, but it's like liaison of African American relations, whatever the hell that means. But it's a joke. It's a joke. So, yeah, it ended up just like you thought it would. I mean, like the old Denny Green, they are who we thought they were,
As we transition quickly, we want to get your take on, people just love football. It's tried and true. People don't want to hear anything else. They love their football. Don't mess with it. Don't do anything. We have a quarterback, Colin Kaepernick, who's unemployed, his story is well known. We had something happen recently with Marshawn Lynch not standing for the national anthem.
Mm-hmm.
My question to you and to our team here, is it time that we stop playing the national anthem at these sporting events?
No. I'm jumping right in.
Okay.
Absolutely.
Go ahead, Richard.
No way, no how. It is a part of sports. It is a part of American sports. It is a part of respect, part of being a member of the country. And these gentlemen are doing what they have the full right to do, is using that as a moment of protest. And I think that is, if you're going to have a moment of protest, that's probably the best one. It is completely nonviolent. It does make a statement. of course, the cameras are everywhere. So if the person chooses to abstain, everyone sees it and they understand why it's happening. So no, that's how it should be. But to remove it completely, I mean, I don't see it. That doesn't make any. It doesn't serve any purpose besides then the sports players or anyone else who wanted to protest would have to just find another means to show that protest.
Okay.
Yeah, I don't think we have to end playing it. And one of the things that I say is these athletes are getting paid. So if it's not in their contract that they have to sit, stand, sing, do whatever, they have their own right to do what they want to do.
That's true, too.
They're individuals. Yeah. I guess they're all citizens, or they can be citizens if they want to be. But, I mean, this is their job. And I think they're entitled to do as they want to do.
Hezzie, what's your take?
I mean, I definitely agree that they don't have to stop, using the national anthem to begin games. But like Dr. Reed and Rich both said, that is your right as an American, First Amendment right, I should add. If you do not want to engage in that a ceremony, that's your right. It does not make you un-American. It actually makes you American, because that's what the whole idea behind, the freedom of speech should be, I should add, all about. I do appreciate Marshawn and Lynch's, support, solidarity with Colin Kaepernick. Colin Kaepernick kind of obviously brought all of the scope on him for his a way of engaging in his own form of freedom of speech to bring attention to an issue that he thought was very important to him and very important to a lot of Americans. However, he's on the outside looking in, as a result of his decision to do so. So it's very sad. I've said many times this year that I am not watching the NFL. I've explained it is not, arbitrary or superficial. I have very deep personal reasons for it. And I'm sticking to my guns, brother.
All right.
That's good.
That is good. And I think, as I told you yesterday, or maybe a few days ago, Hezzie, I would stand with you, but unfortunately, and this is the cop-out, drum roll, please, I purchased tickets for Raiders and Skins on September 24th.
Oh, thank you. That's a beautiful present.
StubHub.
For Sunday Night Football, I purchased tickets, the first row.
What?
Seat 5, row 1. So you will see me on NBC that night.
Wait, you said one seat?
No. There's two seats. But row
I'm
1.
not the other one. Don't worry.
Row 1, seat 5. And I will call you guys from the game.
Whoever he sells these tickets to in protest is going to have wonderful seats. No.
Oh, my goodness.
No, that's going to be nice, Ted. Good for you.
Yeah, but that's going to be the only game I'm going to this season.
That's fair.
And what day is this?
Yeah,
Sunday, September 24th.
So, yes, we're doing the show.
Okay.
Sunday, September 24th.
Sunday, September 24th.
You and me, kid.
You and me.
There you go. I guess as we wrap up this, I don't want to say this is like a heavy part of the show, because it's usually a lighter show, but we touch all different types of topics here on Late Night Parents. I think at the start of the show, Hezzie, before you dialed in, we were talking about, with all of this happening, what's still looming is North Korea and the U.S. going back and forth.
No, wait. Let's not call it North Korea and the U.S. It's Donald Trump and Kim Jong. Yeah, him.
Yeah, you know.
Kim Jong-un.
Yeah.
Yes,
yeah,
the two of them.
More accurate.
We don't even know if we're going to be here next week to do another show.
Oh, we'll be here.
Yes, we will.
We hope.
We hope.
We will.
But I have to go back to say, do you remember when Hillary Clinton said, "Do you want this guy to have the nuclear codes?"
Yes.
Mm-hmm. Sure do.
Mm-hmm.
Isn't it something how everything, like she was saying, is just,
Yeah.
and for all those people that hated her, hated
right
the Clinton Foundation and all that she was doing wrong, and, she gave away uranium, and she did this, and she makes a lot of money.
Mm-hmm.
She called that one.
Yeah, she did call that one. I don't know.
Yes, she did. Yes, she did. I mean, again, I go back to him sitting down with his arms folded, talking about North Korea is going to see fire, fury. I mean, just like the vernacular of a sixth grader, man. That they've never seen. And I was watching Bill Maher earlier today, the last episode, and I didn't realize that there are only 9 nations in the world that have nukes.
Mm-hmm.
And that's like an elite club.
Yes.
Of countries that have nukes. And North Korea is in this stage of trying to get respect. They feel like they're surrounded by enemies, or even their allies really aren't, really supporting them. So knowing the instability of their leader, it takes somebody with a lot of maturity to be able to deal with that, as many of U.S. presidents have dealt with the leaders of North Korea over the years, since the Korean War.
Mm-hmm.
So for him to egg this guy on it's very dangerous. I really feel for the soldiers that are stationed in Guam, the soldiers that are stationed on the 38th parallel over there on the border of North and South Korea, and maybe even some of the citizens, in California, because, when you talk the way that Donald Trump is talking, he doesn't realize this is not the apprentice anymore.
Right. Mm-hmm. This is the real deal.
This is serious.
Yep.
So that's just my thoughts on it.
No, we definitely roll with you. I'm just envisioning him standing there with his arms folded, saying, "North Korea, best not." I'm like, wait a minute, what is this?
Yes, this is the president. Yes.
I mean, this is this is our leader.
But like you said, it's still a dangerous situation.
It is,
because
it is.
North Korea, they now are in this testing phase of all their weapons, and they've already said something to the effect of, we're going to do a test run of drop some missiles,
right,
a few thousand miles off of Guam or a few hundred miles off of Guam, or whatever,
in the water.
That alone, if what's it going to take for Trump to not say, well, shoot him down?
Right.
Or how do we fired on them, because how did we know that they were going to hit a couple hundred miles away and not hit the country?
Mm-hmm.
It's it's just too dicey a situation that could very quickly deteriorate.
I don't know.
We'll see.
I mean, then you have to think also, it's not just North Korea. Whenever you have global conflict like that, other countries are going to get pulled into this.
Right.
So China is an ally of North Korea. Albeit their relationship isn't the best, they still are technically allies. They're both communist countries. Russia is, even though it's not on paper a communist country anymore, its leader was, a former KGB spy. He's from that regime, and they run things, similar to the way it was run during the Soviet Union days. So, we really, really need to pay attention. We really need to use our voices and speak out against these things, demand things from our senators to make sure that, our voices are represented on the Hill, because the adults need to take over, man, because this little baby man is going to get us in a lot of trouble.
I totally agreed.
Oh, Hez, it's been a pleasure having you on. Don't want you to go. We only have 2 other topics, but I know your time is tight.
No, man, it's been an absolute pleasure. Dr. Reed, Richie, Ted, thanks for having me on, and just reach out to me anytime, man. Love to chat with you guys.
Hey, but what's the best ways to get in contact with you?
Oh, well, right now, Twitter probably would be the best. Coach Hez at Twitter. Just give me a follow, and I'll let you know what's going on with me.
You got it. As always, brother, one love, and we will talk.
Absolutely. You guys have a great night.
You
Thank
too.
you,
And
you
Hez, one
too.
more thing, Tez. I'm not gonna put any numbers out there, but you know that we are followers and friends on Instagram. I'm gonna tell you, keep up that good work you've been doing in the gym, brother.
Hey, man, I appreciate it, Richie. Will do.
Keep it up. All right.
Yes, sir.
All right, y'all.
All right.
Take care.
And that was our good friend Hezzie McCaleb, where we had a lot of history. We didn't even get a chance to talk barbershop sports. That was another lifetime. So as we segue, Richie V,
Teddy Ted.
Dr. Michele,
Yes.
Dun, dun, dun.
gonna talk about Disney versus Netflix. What does that mean to you? Another streaming service. I'm sick with these streaming services.
The bad part about it for me is, of course, Disney and Star Wars franchise.
Yes. Marvel, Star Wars.
Marvel and Star Wars. If you cut right to the chase and ask me, will you subscribe to another service? My answer, go ahead, ask me.
Will you subscribe to another service, Rich?
But wait a second. How many services do you already have?
You know, I'm only subscribing, paying monthly fee for one service, and that's Netflix.
That's it.
Now, right, because to my cable provider, since I have like one of the nice packages, you know, you get all the apps included. So, getting all those. So the only one that I subscribe to and pay for extra is Netflix.
But technically, if you could pull up Showtime anywhere and you could pull up HBO Go,
right? But that's part of
that's part of your package.
That's part of my package. That's not an extra fee.
Okay. No Hulu.
No Hulu.
No Hulu.
Nope.
But you're an Amazon Prime member, so you subscribe to
This
Amazon
is true.
Video.
Not for the video. But he's right. He's right.
You are all in his business.
Prime subscriber for that
too
free
much at
shipping. Prime subscriber
He's over
for that
reminding
2-day
what
shipping.
you have.
But yes. So granted, I'll give you half a one for that.
Okay.
That's fair.
Okay.
What about you? Will you subscribe to yet another service?
I would not. Period.
Right.
Period. As you know, Files.
Yep.
Very happy with Files.
Yep.
And also do Netflix.
There you go.
That's it.
And you're an Amazon Prime
And
subscriber.
I am an Amazon subscriber. And guess what? The smart TV that I have, I actually logged into Amazon Video for the first time.
Through your TV.
Yeah, through the TV.
My Netflix is the one in the TV.
Right,
Same
it's
thing.
the one in the
Press
TV?
the button. There it is.
There
Logged
it is.
in, and I'm good. So, what about you, Dr. Michele?
Nope.
Nope. What do you subscribe to, if anything?
Just our cable or internet service.
Okay.
That's it.
Interesting.
Mr. Scott doesn't subscribe to it?
Nope.
Okay.
Sorry to be boring to you.
All right.
But now, so Ted, how much streaming, and I'll say mobile device streaming, so not at home. If you're not at home or not sitting in front of a computer.
I don't.
Okay.
I don't. Do you want to talk about boring on the train? I have a book. I have a magazine.
Okay.
There's a specific book that you should have in your bag every day when you go home.
Your Bible?
Besides that.
He's putting in a plug here.
I'm putting in a plug here, Dr. Michele.
The book that you haven't read yet?
Oh, jab, right back.
That's it.
See, you should have known what I did.
No,
giving it to Pam and
you
let Pam
gave
broadcast
it to Linda.
I gave it to Linda.
That was a cop out. You didn't have it with you.
I knew it was going to immediately be read.
I carry it with me every day. I'll show it to you tomorrow at work. I will.
I'm sure you do.
I can't with the two of you.
I'm sure you do.
I'll stop by your office when I get in.
Okay.
And I will open my bag and I will show you the book.
It'll be there.
A smiling, wonderful picture of someone's
cover.
face. Mentally fit.
Physically strong.
Physically strong. So, yeah, that's the deal with the streaming services. I mean, I hope they pull it together. All in all, with Bob Iger making those comments last week about, we're going to have our own Disney. They already have Disney Anywhere.
Right.
Okay? That's number one. Number two, we're going to have a streaming service for ESPN. Huh?
And, now that I just thought about it, with the Marvel franchise, since much of what's on Netflix, if you're not counting the movies, is Netflix produced product, right?
Right.
How would that work? Netflix will be producing for Disney? I mean,
I have no idea. But there's one other thing that I had wanted to mention to you, and I just want to make sure I get it right. That I tweeted you guys. AMC.
the theaters?
No, AMC, the cable station.
Oh, okay.
AMC, and there's another station. They're introducing their own streaming services. But however, this is going to be different. You ready for this?
Go ahead.
You can watch, Walking Dead, Fear the Walking Dead, Better Call Saul, live when the show is airing.
Okay.
But this streaming service allows you to watch it without the commercials. But it's going to cost you an extra $6 per month.
Not doing it.
So if you want to see your favorite shows that you love, you can see it, but you can see the 42 or 44-minute version.
Right. Nope, not doing it.
Don't have to worry about me either.
Nope. I mean, when I think about it, the amount of streaming that I do is actually pretty minimal, especially for primetime shows or the type. I'll watch them live or DVR what I can't watch at the time and pick it up then. But to go back and stream, not nearly as much. Specialty shows, but I don't know if that really qualifies as streaming per se.
You know what I have done on the train? I'm going to be truthful. I have downloaded an app or two, a movie or two,
right,
prior to getting on the train.
Sure.
So yes, you're streaming it, but you're not burning through your data.
Right.
Yeah, I've done that, but I've only done that for Dave Chappelle.
Okay.
I've only done that. So yeah, that's the deal. The whole deal with Disney versus Netflix. I mean, I keep hearing that Netflix is going to go up. The price is going to go up, but I think it's going to go up first in Canada, Canada, UK, and then in the US.
They can have another $1.
Hey.
Dr. Michelle's like, well, doesn't matter to me.
I guess the last thing is we have, and it's great because the link doesn't work like I wanted it to work, but article we had published. We had a bunch of articles published. One was a Florida dad who's on Planet of the Apps. Trying to get him on for next week. He has a co-parenting app. Went through a very bad divorce.
Okay.
And it's to a situation where I guess him and his ex-wife can't have a conversation.
Aww.
So they've created an app.
Wait, they've created an app together?
Well, I believe he's created the app.
Okay.
But I'm sure she's going to receive some type of residuals.
Of course.
That allows them to communicate.
Instead of text messaging?
Instead of talking on the phone?
Instead of talking on the phone.
I don't know how.
People.
Oh, okay.
But we are in. So his mentor currently right now is Gwyneth Paltrow because he's on Apple Music.
Oh wow!
Yeah, their first scripted series that they released is Planet of the Apps, and it's with 4 or 5 entrepreneurs that are being mentored by Gwyneth Paltrow, will.i.am, and a few other folks.
Oh.
So hopefully next week. We were going back and forth, and I was just like, you know what, it's too late for this week. But there was one other. I guess I'll leave it till next week.
It's all right.
Enough time.
Well, something I might have for next week.
Yes.
Next week or the week after. I'm testing. So I received a device, a home network security device called Cujo.
Cujo.
They sent me a Cujo device, which
Oh.
I just installed this weekend. I just installed it on yesterday morning, actually. So it's all configured in my network, and it's there running. So I'll have something, give it some time to let it run, see if it catches anything, what it catches.
Oh wow!
And,
Nice.
We'll see. So I have a little discussion right up on that one.
Really quick, I had a great discussion this past week with my son. He came downstairs, So I was sitting at my desk typing away.
Yep.
It was late. It was like, I looked at my watch because he came down. It was 11:03.
Okay.
I had a slight smirk on my face. A little bit different than the usual smirk I have on my face.
Yeah, because I was going to say, what's the difference?
So I'm sitting there and I'm like, "Hey, son, how you doing?" He goes, "Hey, I'm doing fine. I'd like to talk to you about something."
Oh,
So,
Lord.
what would you like to talk to me about?
Uh-huh.
He was like, "I'm noticing that the internet goes down every night at 11 o'clock." I said, "Oh, it doesn't go down for me." Yes, it goes down for you and your Xbox.
Check your phone. Maybe there's something wrong with your phone. Or your Xbox.
Oh, we had that moment.
Nice.
Yeah, because I was like, I don't need you on the internet on your Xbox after a certain time.
Right.
But during school time, it's going to not be 11 o'clock, right?
No.
Okay.
During summertime, I'm like,
Yeah.
11.
summertime, 11, you're good to go.
You should make it unlimited.
Never.
Remember, he's right outside the door. You might hear him.
Never. So, all the best with that device.
Oh, thank you so much.
All the best. It's kind of, you just neutered him a little
Give
bit.
him one.
It's like,
Like,
just
I
wanna
don't
let you
have
know.
all the power. Oh,
You know? It's just
You
like,
never had all the power.
that's what
So-
he's thinking. Yeah.
want to say congratulations and happy anniversary to Dr. Michele.
Yes.
Oh, thank you very
Dr.
much.
Michele and Scott.
17 years.
17.
Dr.
Wow.
Michele and Scott.
Why are you making that face?
Which face?
You know, what you're on video, so we can see the face.
Oh, we can see the face.
We're gonna
The
release
face is
this
going to
video.
go out there. There you go.
Make sure you tag Scott. Scott.
We'll do. Yeah. You're smiling now. Okay.
I was smiling before, so don't even try it.
17 years. Very nice.
Very, very
Congratulations.
nice.
Congratulations.
I'm going to take back the compliment I gave you when you walked in the door.
Who, the Rich? Mm-hmm. Yeah, well, you see?
Because he's looking very tan. He's really had a nice
Oh, yeah, she's going. She's going.
going.
With the jerk
summer
There it is.
full of non-working hours. But he's
Yep.
been working out outside, working
Yeah,
on his
outside.
body, so
Been outside,
that's good.
track, fishing.
That's good.
Not in the office.
See, he's the one who said that
He's
part.
going after it.
I
Still
didn't
on.
say that.
I had 6 days off.
He said 18, but who's counting?
No, I had 6 days.
He said
off.
18.
I know. Because he's counting the holidays that were in between and the days of school was closed.
Everything that was sandwiched in between, where
6 days
physically I had to sit in his office.
for 6 days.
However, it felt like 18.
Oh,
I sat there, and just the inflow of traffic and people calling and just taking notes. Rich is not in right now, but hold on. Let me see if I can get in contact with him. Nonstop. But it's okay. It's okay.
you're so animated.
No, I'm not. Not at all. But I guess with that, it's good to have a group back together.
Yep.
Dr. Michele, are you planning to hang around, or
Are you on
phase
another
2
world
of
tour?
the world tour is about to start for the fall? Anything we should know?
I am going to be going away for a leadership conference. I've been
Okay.
asked to do a workshop for the NAACP at their Leadership 500, and that's going to be in another about 2 weeks. So
Okay.
I will not be here on a Sunday.
Okay.
Put this down
But that's
on
all
the
part of
calendar.
the whole Fit Doc programming.
Let me put this
Nice.
in the
All right.
calendar, because she's saying she's not going to be here again.
But I have to
weeks.
make sure that we are
2
here
weeks.
September 24th.
24th. Yes.
24th. I will be calling.
Because the ticket is not for you or
Nope.
me.
Nope.
So we're not going to be front row.
We'll be here.
I mean, sorry, the first row, seat 5.
Seat 5, I'm telling
Right
you.
next to the camera, probably.
Oh.
Jumbotron. That's gonna be Ted right there, with a $20 beer in his hand.
But that's okay. He deserves it.
Yes, he
I'm going to
does.
hold up a sign with pictures of Dr. Michele and Rich smiling.
There we
Just
go.
be like,
Yeah, and we know you're not going to do that, but thank
No, he
you.
would do that. He would do that.
Oh my goodness. Best ways to get in contact with you?
Twitter, Late Night Rich.
Dr. Michele.
On Facebook,
Mm-hmm.
Dr. Michele with one L, middle initial C, REED, and on Instagram and Twitter, ASK Dr. Michele with one L. And office number is 516-794-2200, extension number 8, and that's for MS Family Medicine, your full care family practice. And you can also check me out at fitdoc.com.
Love
She's
it.
everywhere.
Oh, and
Love
the
it.
book is on Amazon and Barnes & Noble.
Both?
Amazon bestseller.
Nice.
We made number 1.
Very nice.
And that is Mentally Fit, Physically Strong, the Fit Doc's Guide to Real Life, Real Fitness, Real Health. And shortly, we're going to have our T-shirts and our tanks coming out. We had a couple of problems with our production of it, but they're going to be coming out soon. And if you were part of our Fit Doc Challenge, you're going to be getting your T-shirt soon. And we're going to be selling them, too. So you can purchase your own Fit Doc apparel.
The Fit Doc Challenge, was that the JFK Runaway that
No.
we...
No, I don't
No,
qualify for it?
that was you
No, that
buying
wasn't
the
it.
book.
Oh, okay,
So we can
okay.
get to number 1.
Gotcha.
But don't worry, we're going to have more Fit Doc challenges coming up that will also involve the family.
All right. I'm Real Ted Hicks,
I'm
and
Richie
thanks
V.
for joining us.
Have a good week.